Well, yes, indeed, Mr. Fred Agbaje joins us now. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on today. Well, we're also getting lots of comments coming through. Let me take this one. If you're right, says, well, Mr. President got this one right. Better late than never. Now is the time to also adapt Captain Omar's option of soft power. He was a guest who was here previously, and he talked about the president also, the military. Other than going hardline, taking the hardline posture, they should also get other means to ensure that they achieve their purpose. What do you think of this?
I think I agree. I agree that in as much as the declaration of state of emergency in those states have not been overdue, I would also suggest that the military who have been out of job for a while and who have been waiting for an opportunity of this nature should be very careful.
Out of job, you say?
Yes, out of job. It is that you kept them in the barrack and we are paying them money. So this is an opportunity for us to really see the better part of them.
But did I hear you say long overdue? The
state of emergency is long overdue. Let me tell you this, and I'm sure I'm speaking the mind of most Nigerians. The very moment our president flew the idea or asked that the people should accept amnesty and stop the criminal malady that they were displaying. And this same set of people told the whole world that they were not interested in any amnesty, that they were the ones that were supposed to have given Nigeria amnesty. I think from that stage, the state of war had been declared on Nigeria by those Boko Haram elements. And that if I were the president on that day eve, I would have declared a state of emergency by way of surprise on them. But it's still better than this, like the contributor said, that the president chose to exploit every available option. This is democracy. He couldn't do it alone. So he had to do a lot of wide consultation. That perhaps might be responsible for the delay. Otherwise, I think the state of emergency would have been declared the longest time.
What about the fact that the governors are left in there? What advantage? How do you see that playing out?
The president must be commended, first and foremost, for respecting democratic institutions and thereby leaving them intact. Because when you actually look at the full meaning, or what I would call the constitutional jurisprudence of the state of emergency, or what we call emergency rule in the realm of constitutional law, a state of emergency is like a coup d'etat. And once there is a coup d'etat, the existing legal order, I repeat, the existing legal order must give way to the new order now. Because the two cannot operate pari passu or concomitantly. It is not. So, one must exist to paralyze the other, particularly the new one. That is the only way the new one can be in effective control and effective occupation of administration. Otherwise, if you allow the two, the existing structure and the new structure to exist, there's definitely going to be conflict. And this might ultimately affect the success. That is where I have my reservations.
So are you talking about leaving the governors, the houses of assembly in those states?
In those states. Because you can't talk of emergency rule and leaving those people intact. I have listened to arguments, in fairness. I have listened to arguments where some people said, oh, it would have been unconstitutional if the president had sent those democratic institutions, particularly the office of the governor and members of the House of Assembly, put them on suspension for the period of emergency. That there was no provision either in Section 11 or under Section 305 of the Constitution which allowed the president to so embark on such a suspensory measure. I look and laugh. When you look at the entire provisions of Section 11 and Section 305, in as much as it does not talk about the president suspending, the same provisions of the law does not bar the president from suspending those those democratic institutions for effective realization of the purpose of emergency rule in those states. The only thing the National Assembly cannot do under Section 11 is to remove the governor or deputy governor. In any case, the session didn't even talk anything about the president, whether the president can remove or suspend. So if the Constitution is silent on that, it means it is allowed. And because when you look at the principle, like I said, the principle behind emergency rule, it is like a coup d'etat in constitutional law. Yeah, the order changes.
But in this case,
yes,
the order is still a democratic order. Either way.
Yes.
At the federal system, at the state level. So,
yes,
what would you want to change at the state level since it's still democratic?
You see, democratic, what is happening when there's a state of emergency that you put them in abeyance? You might not like...
And bring in what?
An administrator. Order? Not necessarily military administrator. Are you telling me that you and I cannot be administrators of those states? I can. You can.
Why is it?
But I'm not a military man. Why must it be a military man that you should? We're talking about democracy.
Okay.
You see, we might not like... I want to do this constitutional comparison. You might not like OBJ style. But what he did was to effectively paralyze the system in Ekiti and Plateau State to enable the administrator to take effective control. And in fairness, the problem that led to the state of emergency in those states at that time, only the emergency rule subsided. Because there was nobody to now begin to run parallel government with the administrator. What happened in the situation like this? Supposing those sitting governors, because as far as I'm concerned, those sitting governors, which I have regarded as sitting lame dogs, because it was under their nose or noses that law and order broke down. And that is what the presidency has rightly capitalized on